Okay, welcome guys. Let's do this nice, beautiful paper. November 2020, paper one. Okay, let's start. Okay, question one is always solve for x and all of that. So let's look at it. It says for which values of x is the expression? We're given the expression square root of 9 over 11 minus x. And we're given x is the element of 11 minus 5, 0, and 5, and 15. So we need to determine which values will be rational, non-real, and undefined. So just briefly explaining this one before we go to it. Non-real, as long as we have a square root of a negative number, it's non-real. So we don't want to have a negative inside the square root. So anything that would make this expression to be negative, it will be non-real. And then undefined, the square root, the denominator 0. Anything that will make this to be 0 will make it undefined. And rational, what is rational? Rational is any number that can be written as a over b, where b is not 0. So as long as I can write it as a fraction, not as a decimal. So it shouldn't be a decimal. It should be able to be written as a fraction. So let's start. So here, I can just substitute all the values, then I'll choose from there. So the first one is 11. So in the place of x, I'm going to put 11. And then how much do I get? 9. What is 11 minus 11? 0. So automatically you see this, then we know that we have got an undefined. We cannot divide by 0. So the first value here will be 11. And then let's put the second one, 9, 11. It's minus 5. So negative and negative will be a positive, which will be plus 5. And then now I'm going to have 9 over, what is 11 plus 5? 16, which can be written as 3 over 4. I can find the square root of 9 and the square root of 16. So this can be written as a fraction, can you see? So this will be rational. This minus 5 would make this irrational. Rational. Now let's put this one. Let's put 0. 9 over 11 minus 0 would be square root of 9 over 11. Just press it on the calculator. Let's see. 9 over 11 will be 0, let me see. Okay, 0.90453. Where am I? 340337. Can you see this is an irrational number, but it is not part of what we're being asked. So we're gonna just skip that one. And then let's look at the last one. 9, 11 minus 15, which will be 9 over, what is 11 minus 15? It will give you -4. -4 at the denominator. Can you see we have a negative inside? Press this on the calculator, it will be non-real of negative. So this will be 15. So these are the numbers. If I put these numbers in, I would get rational, non-real, and undefined. Okay, nice straightforward question. Let's go to the next part. Okay, look at this one. Simplify the following. So, where do we start? We factorize. We're going to factorize every part of this. So factorize this part. I'm going to factorize this part. It's a trinomial. Here, I'm going to look for a common factor. Difference of 2 squares, common factor. This one stays the same. And then I'm going to see which bracket cancel out. So let's start. Factorize this part here. this part. Factors of 6 that will give you that will be x plus 3 and x minus 2. If you're not sure about factorizing, you can watch our video on that one. But here, I'm assuming everyone knows how to factorize. In this part here, take out a common factor here. What will be the common factor? 3 and x, so 3x. In this case, if I remove 3x here, I'm left with x. And then if I remove 3x here, I'm left with minus 4. Do you see it? Multiplied by, now we are on this part now. This is a difference of 2 squares. So x, what is the square root of 16? X plus 4, x minus 4 over, take out a common factor here, which is x, then I'm left with x minus 2. Okay, times, okay, let me move this. 1 over x plus 4. So I'm just going to put it in brackets so that it makes sense. Now, what are we going to do now? We're going to cancel numerator by denominator. So if I can see a bracket in the numerator and a denominator, they cancel out. This one and that one cancel out. This one and that one cancel out. And what am I left with now? X plus 3 on top over 3x multiplied by x, which is 3x squared. So nothing hectic. It looks like a long question, but if you take it step by step, you should know what to do. Okay, moving along this part. Here, factorization. Where do we start? Prime base. We change all the bases to a prime base. So this one was supposed to be here. Yeah, I think they made a mistake there because these are exponents. So prime base, change all the bases to be prime bases. And then we can now apply the laws of exponents, because laws of exponents, law 1, law 2, law 3 says when multiplying powers of the same base. So the key word there is same base. So press this on a calculator. It will give you 3 multiplied by 2, 2 minus a. Okay, let me create space here. Write it down. Okay. 3 multiplied by 2, and then outside I have this. So I'm going to put them in bracket. Multiplied by, what is 12? Put it on the calculator, 2 squared multiplied by 3a over 2a plus 2. So nothing changes there. Now, law 3 of exponents and law 4 says if you have a product inside, you're going to distribute the exponent. So each will be multiplied by the exponent. So I'm going to do that here. 2a minus 2 minus a. Then here, same thing. 2a dot 3a. What did I do? I'm just multiplying everything there, multiplying everything there over 2a plus 2. Now, multiplying powers of the same base, we add the exponents. So I'm going to add the exponents and I'm going to subtract the exponents on the same line. So there's powers of the same base, so I add the exponents. 2 minus a plus a dot. These are same exponents, so I'm going to add 2 minus a plus 2a, and then when dividing powers of the same base, I'm going to subtract. So this part, when it goes to the top, it becomes a negative, minus a minus 2. Then what will be the answer now? A and a cancels out. I'm left with 3 squared dot A minus 8 minus 2A, that cancel out. And then that one and that one also cancels out. Okay, so I'm left with 2, 0, which is 9 multiplied by 1, which is 9. Okay, I hope didn't do any mistake. Okay. Yeah. Hope I didn't do any mistake there. Okay, so that's the answer there. Yebo, yebo. Let's move along. Go to the next question. Let's try to figure out what are they asking and check out what we can do there. Okay, so this question says, if a squared plus b squared is 8 minus b, determine the value of that one. So this one, let's expand this one first and see how much we get. A plus b, a plus b. So we're gonna have same sign inside. Now take that, a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. If I expand everything, I should end up with this. So we are given a squared plus b squared. These two put together give us how much? 8ab. And then I'm left with 2ab. So what will be the answer? 10ab. So that will be the answer. Yeah. Okay, that was a nice question. You had to expand this one. And then from there, you are able to link the given information. Okay. Moving along, moving along, moving along. Look at this one. Question says factorize. So remember how many rules of factorization we have? There's 5 rules of factorization. So you check which one applies in this case. So start from the first one. Common factor, no common factor. Dots, no dots. Trinomial has to be 3 terms. 4 grouping, 5. Sum or difference of cubes. So that's what we're going to apply there. So sum or difference of cubes, we need the first term. Let me write it here. First term, we find the cube root. The cube root of 64p cubed will be, how much is it? 4, eh? 64. Yes, 4. And then p cubed will be p. So first term is that. And then second term, the cube root of 1 over 27 will be 1 over 3. So we're going to deal with those two. So how do we do it? We have a smaller bracket and a bigger bracket. Smaller bracket will be first term minus second term, which is 4p minus 1 over 3. And then the second, in this bracket here, we take the first term and then we square it. If I square this, I'm going to have 16p squared. Do you agree? 4 squared is 16, p squared is p squared. So here I'm going to have 16p squared. So the first term, you square the first term, and here you square the second term. So if I square the second term, I'm going to be left with 1 over 9. And the middle term, you multiply the first term by the second term. So what is 4p multiplied by 1 over 3? It's going to be 4 over 3p, or 4p over 3, anyhow you want to write it. So 4 over 3p, and the signs are plus plus. Okay, so it's just straightforward. If you can formulate the first bracket, you use the first bracket to formulate the second bracket. Now let's look at this one. Okay, this one, you have to group. You have to put the terms together. So let's check. What are we gonna do there first? Okay, firstly, I would put this together and put that together. let's see how much we get. So 24 ky3 minus that ky. And plus here I have a negative 24y plus, and so I just group them as I see them. First 2 times of 1 bracket 1, 2. And take out a common factor. What is a common factor? Here there's 6. 24 goes into 6 how many times? 4 times. And then ky. So I'm going to take 6 ky, and then what am I left with? 4 k went out, I'm left with y squared minus 1. Okay, let's see. Plus, okay, take out a common factor here. If I take out a common factor, I'm going to take out a minus. If I take out a minus, let me change it here. If I take out a minus, I'm going to take out a, see, oh, yes, take out 24 as a common factor, negative 24y. If I take out negative 24y here, I'm left with 1. And then minus here 4y squared. Okay, now what do we notice here? We notice that these two signs are the same. These two brackets are similar, but they differ in sign. So what are we going to do? We're going to introduce what we call the sign change. Sign change says change the sign in the middle, change this sign. If it's a negative, make it a positive. If it's a positive, make it a negative. And then swap these two around. Yeah. Now, 6ky will be 4y squared minus 1. So the negative becomes a positive, and then this becomes 4y squared minus 1. Can you see these two brackets are the same? So what do? We take out a common bracket. Take out a common bracket, which is what? Just 4y squared minus 1, then group the other two brackets together, which is 6ky plus 24y. Now, this is worth 2 marks so far. In each bracket, I can still factorize. So remember, we need to factorize completely. So in the first bracket, I see difference of 2 squares. So I'm going to do that one, which will be 2y plus 1 and 2y minus 1. In this bracket, I see a common factor, 6 and y. So I'm going to put it here in front. 6 and y. If I take out 6 here, what am I left with? K, 6 and y. And then here, what am I left with? The y is out, then I'm left with 4. Okay, now this should be fully factorized now. Okay, moving along. Question 4. Question 4, what are we going to do there? Solve for x. So solve for x. Remember, if we have exponential equations, the basis have to be the same. The basis must be the same. So change this 729 to a prime base. Press it on the calculator. 729. That gives me. So I'm going to write this one down. 3x plus 3 equals 36. And now, remember, there's a golden rule that says a negative can be written like this. So if I have this fraction, I can write it as a negative exponent like that. So meaning I can have 3 minus 1, 3x plus 3 equals to 36. Okay, now before I do anything, I need to deal with the brackets. So I'm going to multiply everything there with the bracket. Yeah. Okay, so what is -1 multiplied by 3x? What is -1 multiplied by 3x? That will be -3x. -3x. So -3x, negative and a negative becomes a negative. And that side we have a negative 3 to the power of 6. So in this, and at this point now, all the bases are the same. And then if the bases are the same, drop down the bases, and equate the exponents. So in this case, what am I left with here? -3x, -3, and then I have a 6, that's right. Then from here, it's normal basic solve for x. Take this one, a negative, it becomes a positive, which is 9, divide both sides by 3, divide by -3, then x is -3. Yeah. Nice question, nice question. So here, the trick is for you to know how to change this to a negative exponent. Okay, let's look at this question. Solve for x and write the answer in the interval notation. Interval notation. Okay. It is here. Okay, so here, how would you solve for x? The first thing to do is to take multiply to get rid of the fraction, multiply everything by -3. Let me use it. So multiply by -3, multiply by -3, multiply by -3. -3 multiplied, not -3, multiplied by 3. 3 multiplied by -4 is -12. Then that numerator cancels with denominator. I'm left with minus that. And the 3 multiplied by 3 becomes what? 3. And now what are we going to do? Transpose the 1 to both sides. So the 1 is positive, it's going to be negative, negative. So that I have -13 there. And here I'm left with -x only because the 1 went over. 3 minus 1 is how much? 2. Now, what do we do now? Divide both sides by -x. Divide both sides by -x. Remember, when we divide by -x, it's going to affect the inequality signs. So divide everywhere by -1, -1, -1. So I'm going to have 13. X is less than 13 now. And then x is greater than -2. So if I were to write this in a proper way, now this one comes this side. Now that one comes that side. No, I'm missing the sign. And this one like that. See, same thing. I'm just writing. This is not a more proper way. We always start with the smaller one, and then we write the bigger one. So that's what I'm doing there with the correct sign. Then interval notation will be -2 and 13 included. So curved bracket and included bracket. Okay, nice. Moving along, moving along. We're down to okay. There's another question here. Let's look at the question. Okay. Okay, let's go through the question. It says tickets for a school concert are sold at 6 rand for children. Okay, let's underline this one. and 10 Rand for adults. If altogether 150 children and adults attend the concert. So in total, the number of children and adults is 150. They attend the concert and they pay 1,100 entrance fee. Determine how many children attend the concert. Okay, so we're gonna assign variables firstly. Let's say children is X and then adults is Y. Okay, so the first equation that I'll set up is how many X and Y equals to 150. So they said the number of children and adults put together is equals to 150. And then the children pay 6 Rand per child. So each one pays that. So 6 times X, 6 times X, meaning that one child pays that, plus adults pay 10 Rand per adult. And the total amount they made from this is 1,100. So that is Smartina's equation. You can see from there, and then you need to just solve how many children have attended the concert. So the main ways to do it, you can do substitution or elimination. I always recommend substitution method, but I'm gonna do elimination method to save time, because in grade 11, you're gonna have to get familiar with using substitution method. So substitution method would make one of this subject of the formula substituting the other equation to solve. Okay, I think rather let's do that one so that you get it. So I have equation 1, I have equation 2. So let me make X subject of the formula. So I have 150, move the Y to that side, and then make it equation 3. And then you're gonna substitute this in the place of equation 2. Wherever I see X, I'm gonna put 150 minus Y. So X equals 150 minus Y plus 10Y equals to 1,100 like that. Then multiply all this 6 times 150. It's 900 minus 6Y plus 10Y equals to 1,0 like that. These two minus 6Y plus 10Y are like terms, giving us 4Y. Take that to the other side. 1,100 minus 900 gives you 200. Divide 200 by 4, and Y equals to 50. So this is adults. From here, you can already predict how much the children will be. Children will be minus the balance when you minus 150 and 50. So I can go here, substitute the value of Y, which is 50, to calculate X. So X will be 150 minus 50, which is 100. So there were 100 children in the concert. 100 children. Okay, nice, beautiful question. Let's go to the other question here. Consider the pattern, number patterns. So consider the following pattern, 3, 5, that. Let's write it down here, -3, 1, 5, 9. From 1 to 5, they added 4. From 5 to 9, they added 4. Meaning here, from -3 to 1 is also a 4. So we're dealing with a linear pattern because the first difference is constant. Constant. Okay, now the first question says determine the rule. The rule is given by dn plus c. where D is the constant difference and C is the difference between term 1 and the difference. So Tn will be 4n. What is term 1? Term 1 is -3 minus 4. So -7, like that. That is your answer. Yeah, because a positive and a negative, here you're going to get a -7. Positive and a negative will give us a negative. Determine term number 38. So term number 38 will be, in the place of n, I substitute 38. It's 145. 145. Yes. Okay, straightforward, nothing hectic, nothing much there. Okay, now let's do the last question. Last question. Functions. Okay, let's firstly read the information that we're given. In the given sketch, the following graphs are represented. So we have three graphs. We have f of x, which is a quadratic or parabola. G of x is a straight line. H of x is an exponential equation. A and B are the x-intercepts. So already there we've got important information. X-intercepts, what happens? The value of x is 0. C is the turning point of f of the parabola, and then y is the y-intercept, underline that, meaning x is 0 there. K is 1 and 4 is a point on the graph of H, which is the exponential. Okay, now let's look at the graph. There is given, all the letters are there, beautiful. So usually what you can do, you can just find all the values, or just go and answer it question by question. So calculate the length of GH if OF is 1 unit. So let's look at this part now. So OF, where's OF? OF is this one. OF is this one. They say calculate the value of GH. How much is the length of GH? From here to there, how much will be the value of GH? So meaning here it's 1. What does it mean? It means they've given us the X value of 1. So I'm just going to take, I need the value to calculate the length of GH. We need to find the values of Y. So the f of x, I'm going to take the equation of the straight line, take the equation of the parabola, substitute in the value of x, and then that should give me the value of y. So the first one, g of x, is 1 plus 2, which is 3. So the first one is 3. So meaning here, the value is 3. And then the other one, so f of x, 3, 1 squared minus 12, which is 3 minus 12, which is minus 9, meaning the value of y there is what? -9. So how much will GH be? GH will be 3 plus, sorry, so yeah, it's gonna be a positive. It's gonna be a positive. Minus 3 plus 9, which is 12. So you add the values. You just add 3 and 9. Because we're dealing with distance, sign does not matter. So from GH, it's 12 units. Then determine the coordinates of E, the point of intersection of F and G, for 5 marks. E, where's E? E is there. So this graph is touching, these two graphs are touching there and there. But we are looking for these points here. So it is the point of intersection of which two graphs? The straight line and the parabola. So what do? We equate the two equations. Equate them. Okay, almost done, almost done, almost done. Okay, first one is gonna be f of x equals to g of x. This is how we start with point of intersection. At that point, the two graphs are the same. So let's substitute now. F of x is 3x squared minus 12 equals x plus 2. And then take all the terms to one side. Move all the terms to one side. So it's going to be what? 3x squared minus x minus 12 minus 2. So I'm trying to put it in a standard form, minus 15. Put it in a standard form so that it's easier for you to factorize. So once it's in this form, we're going to factorize. Factorize, I'm going to look for 3 and 1, 7 and 2, 6 and 7 is going to subtract. I'm going to look for the factors of these two. So I find them as 3, 7 and 1, 2. So 3x, remember the coefficient of x, and then 7 and 2. So this will be a negative, that will be a positive to 0, and then equate each bracket to 0. 7 equals to 0. 3x is 7 divided by 3 divided by 3. So x is 7 over 3, or x is negative 2, of which it makes sense. This will be negative 2. Now this part, meaning it will be what? 7 over 3, which should be slightly be more than b. B is also 2. So 7 over 3 should be more than 2. 7 over 3. See? No, sorry. 7 over 3 is like 2,33. It's not too far from b, but it makes sense. So even if it's a fraction, we know our answer is correct because we can prove it based on the graphs. Determine the equation of h. Okay, now here they want the equation of h. How are we going to calculate the equation of h? So we are given that. So look at D. Okay. D, what do you see on D? Let me raise here. The line, this dotted line that you see here, and D, that's touching on the same line. And what did we hear here? What did they say about D? They said D is the y-intercept. So D is where the straight line is cutting through the y-axis. So this is the straight line, meaning what is the coordinate of D? The coordinate of D is 2 and 0 here. So meaning here, this dotted line, the equation of this dotted line is y equals to 2, meaning this is also the asymptote of the exponential equation. So automatically here, I have the asymptote. So what am I left with when I'm looking for this equation? I'm left with finding A. And how do you find A? We're going to find A by substitute any value along the graph. Any value along the graph is this part, K. So I'm going to substitute K, which is 1 and 4. 1 and 4 is X and Y. So meaning in the equation that I have, in the place of X, I'm going to put 1. In the place of Y, I'm going to put 1. So let me work on it here. So this is the equation that we were given, AX plus Q. We found out that Q is 2, which is the asymptote. Now we're substituting K, which is 1 and 4. F of X is the output, which is Y. So I'm going to put 4 equals A1 plus 2. Take this one to the other side. It becomes 4 minus 2A, which is 2, then A1, meaning the value of A is 2. 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 equals to A. Therefore, this means the equation of the parabola will be that, plus 2. This is the equation of the exponential equation. So let me write it down here. H of X It's 2x plus 2. So you get a mark for finding Q, get a mark for finding A. K is reflected in the line in the x-axis. So reflection in the x-axis says what? The coordinates becomes x and -1. So they want the coordinate. So K is 1 and 4, meaning the image will be 1 and -4. I think that's what they're looking for. I think they're looking for that one. Determine the values of x for which f of x is greater than 0. So where the graph of f is above 0, from where to where? So let's go to the graph, look at it. Where is this graph above 0? This graph is above 0 from -2 going there and from 2 going there. In between 2 and -2 and 2, the graph is below. Can you see? It's below 0. So the graph is above 0 between that. Is it included? Let me check. Yes, it's included. So we include that. It's starting to be there above 0 from there or from anywhere above there. So on the two sides going there, not in between two graphs. The two lines. Yeah. And that is it. Done with the question. Thank you, guys. Please subscribe, share the video, comment, do what you have to do. Thank you. Bye.